Sophia woke up willing to have a nice day of rest. When she arrived at the establishment, she received a call from her friend. Her friend asked what she was going to do that day, since it was a weekday, and she said she would have a lot of work. Sophia says that she ended up leaving everything aside, because she needed a day off, so nothing better than a spa for her to relax. She says that the place was very beautiful. It had a balcony with very good ventilation, but she was apprehensive about the service, because the last places she would have gone, none were well attended. She told her friend that she would order a drink, to be more relaxed, and calls her friend to accompany her. The friend said she couldn't go, and asked about the children. Sophia says she left it with the Baba. She wanted to rest until of the children, so she says goodbye to her friend. Sophia hangs up the phone, and is already annoyed that no one has come to answer her yet. Then she speaks loudly for everyone to hear. "Oh my God, and no one will attend me in this bodega here? Good afternoon, ma'am, how can I help?" Sophia laughs at her, and asks what she called her. The clerk replies, "Ma'am." So Sophia says, "Do I look old?" "First of all, don't call me ma'am, my name is Sophia, and it's ma'am. And I've been here for a while, you took a long time to answer me, but I want my table there, right on that balcony." The employee says that unfortunately, they only put tables in that place when it's the weekend, and as it's raining, we don't have authorization for that. Sophia laughs at the situation, and asks the name of the employee. She says her name is Amanda. So Sophia says, "Amanda, you don't understand me. I'm not asking you, I'm asking you to set the table there." When the employee leaves, Sophia says, she didn't imagine that place was a dive, as it looked, that how could she not put a table in the place she asked for, as those people didn't know who she was. At that time Amanda comes from there with a chair so Sophia doesn't have to wait on her feet. And as usual she always calls others sir and ma'am. She makes the mistake of calling Sophia ma'am again. But as soon as she realizes, she apologizes herself, and corrects her by calling her miss. She asks Sophia to sit down while she sets her table. When Sophia looks at the chair, starts mocking, she says, "You're making fun of me, right? Do you really think I'm going to sit in a filthy chair like that? Grab a rag and clean this chair now." When she finishes cleaning, she says, "Ready, ma'am," and when she sees again that she made a mistake, she already corrects it. He apologizes and calls her Mississippi. Sophia, all impatient, says okay, now she's going to set my table. Amanda takes Sophia's table to the place she asked for. And he goes to her to tell her that the table was ready. Sitting down, Sophia rudely asks about the menu, and Amanda says she was going to take it. As she goes to get the menu, she runs into her manager, and decides to explain the situation. She says, "Rogerio, a client arrived and asked me to put a table there in the outside area. I explained that I couldn't, but she insisted, and I don't know what to do." Rogerio says that because it's a weak movement, there would be no problem. On days like this you can please the customer, and his satisfaction comes first. Today we're going to make an exception, and anything just talk to me. I got the manager to make an exception for you. Sophia laughs and says, "An exception? My love, put one thing on your mind, there is no exception for those who are rich. Because money buys everything, and I'm rich and I can do everything." Amanda, to be sympathy and bring up the subject, says, "There has never been a lady as beautiful and elegant as you here in our establishment." Sophia agrees and says she really is, and thanks her. Amanda continues, "Even, her necklace is beautiful. One day I want to be able to buy one of these." Sophia laughs, and says, "Do you want a necklace like mine?" "Poor thing, my love, this is a designer necklace. Do you know when you'll be able to buy one of these?" "Never." "Now bring me some water, please, and ice water, okay, and don't delay." When leaving, Sophia says that she would have made a bad choice, and she was already out of patience. Amanda goes again to talk to Rogerio, says she doesn't even know how to treat that client, because she was very fine and chic, she didn't know what to do. Rogerio says she was a great employee, a great waitress, and they were very well trained to serve people like that. Amanda thanks him, and 10 that he's a great manager. Upon leaving, Rogerio praises her, saying she is a great employee. While Sophia was waiting for her water, she took the opportunity to check her social networks, and came across a launch she had been waiting for a long time, so she took it and called her father. On the call she says, "Hi Dad, how are you?" He asks if she is working, and Al says no, it was in a very delicious spa, says he needed to relax. He then asks about the meeting they would have scheduled. She says he won't do it, that he could cancel it, making it up some excuse. She says she cancelled everything she would have for the day, because she was very tired and stressed. He asks about the children, she says they have the drools. So she gets to the point she wanted, and says that the day of the launch of the designer store arrived that she would have talked about with him, and that she didn't even want to know but she needed to participate, and to be the first to buy. She needed her father to transfer about 15 or 20,000 for her to go. The father asks if that is all, so she says it could be about 30,000, so she can compare an outfit and look really beautiful. The father then says he will do it, and she thanks him, and takes the opportunity to ask how he was, if his day was very busy. He says no, that everything was fine. He asks if she had been there for a long time. She says no, she had just arrived, and was wanting to have a few drinks, but that she would have been treated poorly, that she was not satisfied, but had hoped that he would get better, so she says goodbye to him. When she hangs up, she complains that the water hasn't arrived yet. Amanda comes with the water and ends up tripping over the table and spilling some water. Sophia is already disgusted that she doesn't do anything right, and asks her to clean it up. Sophia says that was horrible. Then Sophia says that was horrible, so she won't give anything to water, when she was already horrible. She asks to call the manager, because she wanted to talk to him immediately, and still tries the water manager in Amanda. I compliment saying that she doesn't do anything right, and that would be the last time she would work in that establishment. And he said, "Today you go to the street." Upon entering, Rogerio sees her all wet, and asks what had happened. She says that the client had just insulted her, and splashed the water on her face, saying that the water was horrible. Rogerio then says she could go rest, and he would take over the care. He would get another water and take it to her. On the way to take the water, he comments to himself how a customer could have done that, throw water in the face of an employee, but with a greater experience it could be different. When he arrives in front of Sophia, he greets her, says he is the manager, and that he would take over the service now. Sophia already complains that he is calling her lady, as he would have already warned the employee that he did not want to be called that way, because she doesn't look like an old woman for that. She asks what he was, and if he was the manager. He says yes, so she says she didn't want to talk to the manager, but to the owner, and asks him to give the water to is it over there. He politely apologizes, but once, and gives her the water, says he even took the water in the cup for her. Sophia says that a cup wouldn't solve her problem, and that she didn't want to talk to the manager, but to the owner. Rogerio says that it would not be possible, as the owner was not there at that moment, but that she could be calm as he would attend to her. So she throws water on him too, and reinforces not to call her lady, and he wasn't supposed to go back there without the owner, because she wouldn't keep talking to the employee anymore. Upon entering, Rogerio comes face to face with his boss, who asks what would have happened since he and Amanda were wet. Then he says that he has a crazy client who threw water on them both and mistreated them. Ricardo says, "Water? Like this? How absurd." Rogerio will then explain that she would have asked for water, then Amanda would have taken it, and then she would have mistreated Amanda, and threw water on her, and then Amanda came to talk to me. Then I told her that then I would take over the service, so I went to her, introduced myself as the manager, took another water, and she mistreated me and also threw the water at me. Ricardo says he could rest easy, because he would solve the problem, and goes to her. When he arrives, he says good afternoon, and Sophia already says, no, not another employee, the employee has already arrived, The manager who doesn't have the profile for that. And who are you? The janitor? Ricardo responds by saying that he is the owner, and asks who she would be to treat his employees that way. So she says, since you are the owner, I need to tell you something. You need to review your employees, because the girl who came to bring me the water spilled the water on me, brought hot water, and then a guy came saying that he was the manager, but please, he doesn't have any profile to be a manager, and now you come here to say that I'm mistreating your employees? Then Ricardo interrupts her, says that at that moment she would not speak, but only listen, because he was the one who would speak. My employees are of excellent quality, they are the best here in the region, so the lady who is disturbing our establishment is, then please withdraw. She then asks if he's kicking her out, and he tells her to get her bag and leave. And another thing, you're there misrepresenting my employees saying you're rich, but actually your father is rich, you don't have anything, so you can take your bag and leave my establishment. Meanwhile, Rogerio and Amanda are apprehensive inside, because they were afraid of being sent away, and the client could be speaking ill of them. The fear was that Ricardo would believe the lies she would tell, and the two need that job. Ricardo arrives at this, saying that he has already solved the problem. I ask that lady to leave our establishment, and you can rest assured that whenever there are situations like this or similar, you can contact me, and I will solve this problem, because here at our company, you come first, because we are a family, and you are my priority. Thank you for being excellent, and let's get back to work because we have other clients that deserve your service. Sophia was disgusted, because she had never been so mistreated, says they would end up and regret having done that to her, because she would go bankrupt that establishment. And I go out complaining, saying that I would destroy that place, but right at the time his cell phone was beeping low battery, but they would see what would happen. When she got into the car, she kept complaining that she had never been so mistreated, and when she started her car, it didn't work, and as her cell phone was about to turn off, she wouldn't be able to warn anyone. But she still manages to call her father, but he doesn't answer, as she said she would have a meeting. So she sees Ricardo there and decides to ask him for help. Upon arriving at him, all polite, she says that her car doesn't want to start. If he understood that and could help her, he laughs, and says that situation is funny, and says as the world turns, that right now she was there inside mistreating his employees, and saying he would destroy his establishment, and now the lady is in need of help, so she apologizes and says she has no way to go home. And says he will refer the establishment to someone. He tells her take your car and get out of your way. So, what would you do in this situation? Leave it here in the comments.